Hello everyone, I am your host Saket Bansal and I am back again with our episode number 21. We are about PMP exam prep power hour. This is something we call this series, and our whole intention is to pick up a topic, talk about it a little bit, and take care of some of your questions which you may have related to the topic I am discussing or something beyond that. The whole idea is helping you to learn project management professional. So that is the goal. Let's see. I think it takes little time before this feed get pushed up to all of you and you start getting what I am speaking here. And then we probably start getting questions as well because the YouTube as well as LinkedIn will be posting this thing in your stream. Any point in time, if you have a query, please post in a comment. But as usual, I will start with my talk. Yeah, maybe around 15-20 minutes I will talk, and then you can start talking with your questions. So one of the things which is happening since 2021 in our PMP exam is agile based questions. So in agile, especially this conversation is for those people who are new to agile, and even if you understand Scrum, you are not getting tested on your Scrum knowledge in PMP. You get tested how do you use a Scrum kind of thing along with project management. Yeah. So your Scrum knowledge has to be customized to fit into project management. So that way it is relevant for you as well. So today I am starting talking about things like agile meetings. So Anthony, you have a question related to quality, please post it. I will take it once I am done with my agile meetings topic. Yeah, but you are welcome to post it here. Yeah. So agile meetings, first, why do we have a meeting? Now, if you are a project manager, you understand the overall objective is in a project management is creating collaboration, helping people to brainstorm, helping people to plan. And one of the way which is used in agile way of working frequently to promote interactive communication is meetings. Sometimes in a pure Scrum word, they call it events. Sometimes they call it ceremonies. But in a simple language, as a project manager, we can understand these are the things where we bring people together. So they have an interactive communication and they come up with some goal, yeah, some result of that particular meeting. So each meeting is expected to have a goal and it serves a purpose in facilitating the conversation and communication in agile ways of working or inspired by Scrum ways of working. Yeah, so that should be our basic understanding. One of the meeting which gets started our time boxed iteration is called iteration planning. Now somewhere you will see sprint planning, somewhere you will see iteration planning. For PMP exam, iteration and sprint are the same thing. What is the difference? In a Scrum word, the time box exploration is called sprint. In a generic word, we call it iteration. So as we understand, in agile way of working, we have a long or ever-growing identification of requirement, identification of new idea, which we put into a product backlog. We discussed it in our previous episode 20. And this product backlog has to be prioritized continuously. And we fix a time box, which is called sprint or which is called iteration. Because in this time box, we want to pick up some of the element from the product backlog and finish them. Now, selection of those elements and collaborating, what can we do, how can we do, discussing about it is done in an iteration planning meeting. So in the beginning of iteration or in the beginning of a sprint, the project team members and stakeholders come together and they collaboratively figure out what they can do in the coming time box so that we know how are we progressing, and that thing which we complete should be something which can be evaluatable, demonstrable. Yeah? So that is something is done in the iteration planning meeting. Now we have planned our 2 weeks by way of doing iteration planning meeting. Now we start working as a team. Now on a daily basis, also we should be ensuring that people are accountable for their work. We are taking care of new discoveries. We are taking care of new risk. We are taking care of issues which we are discovering. So we need to collaborate continuously. And for that, in Agile world, there is a small collaboration, coordination, inspect and adapt meeting, which is called daily stand-up. Sometimes it is called daily Scrum. Sometimes it is also called coordination meeting. So as a project manager, we understand these three are the same thing. But we do this meeting to ensure that we are moving as per our iteration plan, which we have prepared in the iteration planning meeting. So this is the second meeting, which can help us in taking care of ongoing risk, ongoing issues, This is the meeting which can also ensure that people are clear knowledge sharing, communication inside the team. All those goals get achieved in this meeting. Iteration planning help us in planning the whole iteration in detail, also help us in identifying the risk given in the iteration, which we can take care during day-to-day work, and small daily stand-up of a 15 minutes or a scrum meeting of a 15 minutes, make sure that we are keeping ourselves on track. That's the second meeting. Now we start working on it and we reach towards the end. Say our time box is finishing. For example, I say 2 weeks is your time box. So you are done with your 2 weeks time box and you are reaching towards the final stage. The final stage, we do 2 meetings. One meeting is to demonstrate and talk about what we have achieved in the session. Yeah, so that is something we can say that is something we call it iteration review. Iteration review, sprint review is a iteration review. And that is something where we figure out that we are demonstrating our work and taking feedback. Yeah, that is something we do in an iteration review. Finally, we have a iteration retrospective where team comes together and figure out and improve how do we work together to become better in upcoming iterations. So we have a nice question coming from Kiran. If sprint planning, by the way, is product owner, scrum masters, and developer, so please keep in mind, we are not teaching Scrum. And when we are giving PMP exam, it is not about Scrum. So you may have a situation where there is no product owner. Yeah, you may have a situation where there is no Scrum master. So what we need to understand is the essence, rather than getting into too much mechanics of Scrum master does this, product owner does this, and development team does this. What we need to understand is, as a group, whoever owns the requirement and the development group who is going to do a project team, we come together and we clarify what we are going to do in upcoming sprint. Yeah, that is something there. So we don't have to confuse with Scrum rules. Now, what is a Scrum rule? They talk about Scrum Master. I am not talking about Scrum Master today. We'll talk about Scrum roles in our upcoming episode, because here we are looking purely as a project manager. You facilitate, the team has a goal, and for that you do iteration planning meeting. I'm not talking about sprint planning meeting. Yeah, and then you run a daily stand-up. You ensure that a sprint review is a review process where collaboratively respective stakeholders are invited to make sure that we have a good understanding of what we have achieved together. And iteration retrospective can be used as a sprint retrospective, but you can ignore if you are too much worried about Scrum rules. In a PMP exam, you don't have to worry about that. You need to see practicality of the question. The retrospective is a reflection meeting, lesson learned meeting, which you need to adapt and find out how do you move forward. And that's the whole purpose of explaining these 4 meetings to you. So we need to go with a goal, find out what we want to do in a sprint or in an iteration, track our work, and ensure that we are taking care of daily problems, daily stand-up, take a feedback. Let's review what we have achieved at the end of a time box, review, iteration review, sprint review, iteration demo, whatever word comes in the question. Retrospective, let's learn from our experience so that we can become better. Yeah, so that's the thing we need to keep in mind for these 4 meetings. Yeah, from a PMP exam perspective, don't memorize Scrum guide. Yeah, just focus on practicality of it. There could be plus minus questions here and there. We need to see the overall purpose. Now, taking that conversation further, you don't have to be limiting your conversation of Agile in these 4 meetings only. For example, if you're too much focused on Scrum, these are the 4 meetings and the sprint is the 5th event, nothing else. But for a PMP exam, you can assume if the question comes up that you are facilitating release planning meeting. So release planning meeting, I'm purely talking about applying project management in adaptive manner. So what is release? Release is something which is little long-term than iteration. So if you want to have a little long-term forecast, you can say, oh, we want to finish some chunk of functionality. How much time it will take to achieve that? So you may estimate 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and you need to plan how are you going to achieve that 3 months, 4 months goal. That kind of meeting is called release planning meeting. You should not equate it with your work breakdown structure and Gantt chart preparation for 3 months, 4 months. That will be too detailed. So release planning is done with some amount of uncertainty, which is more than your work breakdown structure and Gantt chart, say some amount of predictability, which can give us maybe 30-40% variance information that this is what we are going to do. So whenever you see a word release planning in your questions or your understanding, you can say it's a little bit long term. Now, I'm not talking about Scrum Master does this and Product Owner does this, just for the essence of the meeting. Yeah, and you don't have to worry about who does what. For the exam perspective, you need to see the question and say, okay, who would be the appropriate guy to do it? There is a possibility sometime release planning meeting, the question indicates the product owner is running. Sometimes the question indicates the project manager is running. So depending upon the question, we will respond, and we'll talk about roles specifically in our next episode. But as a release planning meeting, you are planning the future work. Yeah, so that's something you can keep in mind. The another meeting, which is many a time done in a Scrum word also, is called backlog refinement. So from a pure Scrum perspective, there is nothing called backlog refinement as a meeting. They tell you can do it in any way. But for a understanding for PMP exam, we can assume there might be a regular meeting, which is called backlog refinement. Now, what is that? So the powerful people, I'm trying to avoid the word product owner and other things, the powerful stakeholders who really have an interest and power in the work, they and the execution guy, the development team, all these key people come together and they figure it out what they should be working on in upcoming months. And that understanding they put into a product backlog. So it's a place where you remove the item from a product backlog, you add new items in the product backlog, you estimate the existing items, and you change the priority. So it should involve the representation from the people who owns the business understanding and from the people who understand the technicality of it. Yeah. So depending upon our questions, we need to see who are those roles. But I understand the business and the delivery team come together and they refine their work, and that thing is called backlog refinement. Many a time you will see product owner running and all, but that's a backlog refinement. So that's another sixth meeting. I would say it could frequently come in your exam. The final one, before I take the question, there is already a quality questions here. Yeah. So the final one is a possibility of product visioning meeting. Yeah, product roadmap and product visioning meetings. So if that word is coming, I can say that we are involving key stakeholders. Our view might be going beyond one release. This is something usually done in the initial stages, but it can be done later on also as a reflection, because vision is not something which is fixed. Vision evolves over a period of time. So we can say, yes, we are coming together and we are inviting bigger set of stakeholders to find out our product vision and direction. That could be the another type of meeting which can come in your PMP exam. So these are the 4 and plus 3 more, which can give you around 7 meetings. You focus on goal rather than too much mechanics of it. Nobody's going to be too much catchy about the timing and the names and the roles. You need to understand the essence, look at the 4 options and choose appropriately, because we should be ready for hybrid projects also, where these meetings might be used along with some traditional tools. So for that, you need to be careful studying the question. Yeah. So this was a small prepared talk to start the conversation. I do have a quality question pending, which I will take now. If you have any question or any topic, please feel free to paste it. I may not be the absolute answer giver, but I will try my best to share my opinion about it. Yeah. So you can put in the comment area. Okay, so let's go one by one. So we have a question. Can you talk about quality metrics, quality measurement, quality checklist, quality report, and the difference? For a PMP exam, I think you don't have to worry about the difference. You understand that these all probably help me in understanding what I am doing and how my quality processes are working. Now, quality metrics is a generic term which involves all the measurements you are doing, which can help you in identifying how are we doing as per quality. So any weekly, monthly monitoring collection of the data you do to see your product health, your process health is a quality metrics. That's it. Now, example, maybe you are counting number of defects received every week. That could be a quality metrics simply. Or there could be another quality metrics where you are quantifying how much rework you did in a given week. That's a quality metrics. Now, quality measurement, the quality measurement you do with the help of quality matrices. You can do quality measurements by interviewing people also, by auditing people also. You can say quality measurement is a little higher word, and inside it you use quality matrices. So you can say, I want to do a health measurement. Yeah, I want to measure your health status, and I will take matrices like your blood pressure, your cholesterol count, or your hemoglobin count. Those are probably matrices. Yeah, so that's something you do. Quality checklist is a tool. So say I have a list of things and I want to understand what is present and what is absent. So I can say that I see a product, size is right, tick, color is right, tick. Yeah, so I have a list of the things which I give to my team so that they can verify, tick, 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 tick. That's a quality checklist. Yeah. Now the checklist will create some measurement. That measurement can create metrics also. We can say how many defects we found in a given area. That could be your metrics as well. Now quality reports, any periodic weekly report you make to summarize all your quality activities could be a quality report, which may include some information about how much hours you have spent on a quality activities, where are the variances are, what kind of auditing you have done, what is your overall quality health, and it can also include some of the quality matrices. So overall, other than quality checklist, all other three tools helps you in talking about your quality status in a way, whereas a quality checklist is a mechanism of collecting data. There's a raw data you collect, and based on that you do something about it. Yeah. Hopefully that helped, and that should be good for your PMP exam. So if you are watching us on LinkedIn, you should be getting this thing, and you can raise your question as well. And that's the process. If you are on YouTube, then also you should get a, and you can put it just okay. Yeah, I was just checking the YouTube and LinkedIn thing. Yeah. So I see, Anthony, you pasting ABC, but I am not clear. So what you are saying, escalate the Scrum Master to sponsor. I think you probably missed pasting something in between. Okay, there is a question. In Agile project, when the Scrum Master is arrogant in handling the team and the development team members are not happily working with the current Scrum Master, as a project manager, what will you do? So we need to understand, before even we look at the option, what is your role? What are your 35 tasks as a project manager? One of your critical role is creating a healthy team environment. Yeah. You have a Scrum Master / team leader / manager. I don't go into the words. So I have my subordinate leader, yeah, and who is creating problem for my junior people. And I am the senior leader. Ultimately, blame goes on me. I must fix it. Yeah. That's what I need to do. Simple. So I need to see the option. Again, it depends upon who has created this test and what kind of option they have chosen, given. But we need to find the option where I can have a little. Now, the question is not very clear. Who is telling the Scrum Master is arrogant or my team leader is arrogant? Yeah, that's the thing. So probably if I have already observed this guy is arrogant, then probably I need to do something. If my team member is complaining this guy is arrogant, then I need to validate that first. I probably need to have an open-ended conversation. So I need to do coaching, I need to do feedback conversation, and I need to find out healthy work environment in my project team. That's the simple thing I need to do. I think you have pasted some options as well. Let's see what are the options. Escalate the Scrum Master to sponsor, align the Scrum Master team should work, nothing, use retrospective to help Scrum Master to understand the team expectation, advise Scrum Master to follow servant leadership and support the development team. Yeah, so you definitely don't want to escalate. Yeah, that's a simple thing. Yeah. Why? Because it should be your job. You are not running away from it. Yeah. Now, do nothing is also not an option. Yeah. Use the retrospective to help the Scrum Master to understand the team expectation. Possibly yes, but the question is not very clear. The arrogance is complained or arrogance is well evident. That's not clear. Yeah. But if I assume the arrogance is well evident and it is very clearly demonstrated, then I will definitely go with D. Yeah. If the question indicates someone is complaining about arrogance, then probably I do something differently. Now somebody will say, why not retrospective? Yeah. Retrospective is a great thing for doing collective conversation. But when you have a one-on-one issue, yeah, you have a one team member who is behaving weird, you don't want to wait for a retrospective to shame that guy and say you are behaving weird. Simple. Yeah. So you need to act when you have, at the same time, if you see the whole group is not following working agreements, if the whole group is not focused on delivering things, then probably you want to make retrospective as a use. So if you have if you have attended our class, we talk about that during the beginning and ending of the sprint, you do group coaching. During the sprint, you focus on one-on-one coaching. Yeah. So that's the thing you need to focus on. So you as a project manager believe in servant leadership. You as a project management cultivate servant leadership. These are the two important jobs. Ignore even if the word Scrum Master is not coming, even if you have a subordinate manager, still you need to cultivate servant leadership. Yeah, so that's the thing you need to follow. Okay, so what is A/B testing means? Incidentally, we posted some questions in the recent time. If you have been following our YouTube channel, yeah, we pasted some questions and we also shared some videos around that. So the essence of A/B testing is collecting feedback. Yeah. We want to know how our product is behaving and how customers are responding to it. Now think about a digital kind of product, yeah, where it is not very expensive to get the customer feedback by giving them two versions. So A/B testing is something like, say, I want to send an email and I have two versions of email or two versions of subject I create. And I'm not sure, there are 100 people who might want to receive my mail, but I'm not sure which subject will create more open rate. Yeah. Then what I say that let me find out 20 people and send it with the subject 1. And then find out 20 other people, send it with the subject 2. And then observe which one is doing better. And after that, I will decide for rest of the 80 people or rest of the 60 people in this case, I will use that. So what does it mean? Creating two versions of your solution. It could be a web page, it could be a digital product, giving a customer, limited customer version A, another limited customer version B, so A and B. And then as a business outcome guy, usually done by product owner or as a project manager, analyzing the overall trend and preferences about these two areas, and then deciding what should we do next. So this whole process of doing is called A/B testing. When should you use it? Especially in a digital product where understanding the customer behavior is very critical for you. If you get it wrong, customers just close the browser. And the third is, it is something which give you a real taste of the customer. It is not enough to take a review from internal people only, because internal people is not representing the population which you have as your customer base. So in those kind of environment, you use A/B testing. It's part of the PMI exam content which you get from PMI. Not very clearly evident in your exam content outline. It is used as a feedback technique for ensuring that we are delivering value. It maps to ensure delivery of a value with urgency. That's a task 1 of your process story. That is where it maps to. That is what I did in our recent questions. Okay. So could you describe key milestone of the project closeout process? So what I understand is you may want to understand key activities of project closer, not necessarily a milestone. Yeah, because milestone itself is a project closer. So what is milestone? Milestone is a significant event. Yeah, so something which you're doing big and which is shown as a diamond in your Gantt chart. Yeah, that is something is your milestone. Usually a closure of a phase, delivery of something, or handing over of the product. Yeah, that's the milestone. Now, if you're talking about what could be the key activities we do as a project closer, then I think we have a little clarity about your question. So I'm taking that. In case I'm interpreting your question wrong, please comment it, but I am answering what are the key activities of project closer. First thing, we need to understand, is it a premature closer or is a closer with a happy ending? Yeah, that's the important thing. What is a happy ending closer? Means you have achieved your project goals, your project scopes are completed and you want to do it. Closing. Yeah. Premature closer, because of economic condition has changed, because the customer has left with no money, you will have left with no money, and the organization is saying enough, let's close it. Yeah. First thing we need to remember from a PMP exam perspective, in both the cases, we need to do closing. Yeah, that's the thing. So be it a premature closer or be it a final closer, you need to do a closing for your the project and phases. Now, what will you do? Obviously, you want to know where we are. In case of final closer, you want to make sure all deliverables are well accepted. You take a sign off on it. You show that all the our project accountability responsibility has been taken care. That's the first thing you will do. If it's a premature closer, then also you will make sure whatever has been completed till now, that is indexed at one place and people have an agreement about that this is done. So before I do anything, I need to take a sign off on what we have finished. Yeah? I need to have an agreement what we are doing. So I do that. That's the one of the critical activity. The another activity I do, I should not have any obligations to other people, other vendors. Say if you have taken some outsourcing, say you have rented some cars, you have rented some laptops, you have taken some licenses, you need to make sure everything is cleaned out. Before the project get closed, you need to take care of your vendor's contract. And if any of the vendor contract is open, you need to close that. Yeah. Because after that is your project is over, your organization may suffer a little more because they don't know what was the real agreement and they may not have appropriate documents. So you want to make sure first I take care of my client kind of the stakeholder and take an approval from them. Then I take a supplier kind of my stakeholders and I make sure that is closed. So I take care of both the side of external people. That is something I done. Now I want to worry about my company. Yeah? So external people is taken care, the customers and the pay, where I have to pay. What do I do with my current company? I need to make sure that I need to have a clear understanding or clear reporting of my project. So I will make my project final report, which talks about what kind of things we did, where we faced challenges, what was our cost reporting, what was our finance reporting. I will put everything there. So I will prepare a final closure report. Yeah, that's I do. Another important activity which I will do, I will put this closure report in my lesson repository. So I will submit these details to my organization so they will use it. And I will also archive my detailed documentation, like contractual documentation, sign off I received from the customers and all those things appropriately. So I will index them, them into a repository and says, this is what we have a final repository. Many a time organization will have a project closure checklist where they will ensure that you are following all these checklists so that you don't miss out these things. Finally, you need to conduct a final lesson learned report where you appreciate people and you talk about their experiences and that you also submit as a final lesson learned report. You may also need to make sure that people who were part of it, their reward and recognitions are taken care, their skill metrics has been updated, they might have learned few new things. There is a possibility you may need to write their performance evaluation or recommendation for the closing of the project. So you may have that HR responsibilities also to giving final reviews and skill rating to your people. After all these things done, you definitely release everyone. Releasing can happen in periodic manner as well. And you close the project and you are free to do something else. Now, these are high-level, generically used project closing activity. Your organization may have some specific things related to compliances, related to other areas which you need to see. But for PMP exam, this much understanding is good for you. Okay, so we see further. I go further down. So it's a little PMP exam things. Are the eligibility of PMP exam through working as a quality assurance, as a clinical trial for application? If we get selected for current role, whom should I report? So see, the understanding is project management professional PMP certification requires you to demonstrate 3 years of leading experience. Yeah, leading projects. Now you might be leading the quality assurance section of clinical trial, which may itself be a significant thing. So once you understand what is project is a temporary endeavor which has set of people, it runs for a duration, it requires forecasting of milestones, yeah, and there is a leader who is facilitating this. So in your PMP application, you need to demonstrate that. After that, you can give a PMP exam. That's it. You need to just demonstrate that experience in your application. Now, if you get a, sorry, my throat is not good. If you want to get a specific feedback, connect with us. Yeah, our team can help you. You can share your profile with our team and they can assist you how soon or how well you can get ready for PMP application. We assist you. Our client, we assist in PMP application and all those things very, very clearly. Sorry. Value of team working agreement. Yeah. So that seems to be a question. So say your current PMP exam, 42% is people domain. And your leadership style is that you want to make your team not dependent on you. You want to make sure, you want to lead them, behave in such a way so team can take care of their work themselves. They can make their own decisions. You don't want to be a bottleneck in the process. Now, how do you do that? One of the tools you use, and especially if the team is new, you are starting with a new team and you want to make sure that they start learning how to take care of themselves, you start with creating or facilitating working agreement. Many a time you also use a word team charter. So team charter can contain sorry, working agreement, ground rules. These all things can go in a team charter. And my intention is people should know if they have to talk to each other for these kind of things, they need to send an email. Yeah. For these kind of things, they need to do something else. Yeah. Before they go home, they need to update their work information on a common tool which we use. So we should have a clarity. If they want to take a leave, they should inform 24 hours in advance, like that. Yeah. So I don't have to remind everyone. I want to clarify their agreement so they know what to expect from each other. That's the use of a working agreement. Why I'm using it? Because I'm using it a tool to create team which can take their own decision, which can maintain their own discipline, which can distribute their work themselves, which can make their own collaborative monitoring process, which can help them in delivering work. Yeah, that's the use of working agreements for a project management perspective. Okay, so half an hour went. If you have any specific queries, please post. I'm just going in between to check the LinkedIn. Incidentally, I don't see any comment coming from LinkedIn, which makes me worried. Yeah, maybe LinkedIn is not pushing the content today to me. If any one of you is posting question in LinkedIn, please be aware I have not received any question. So you probably want to paste it on YouTube. But I think no one has pasted it, then it's perfectly okay. Yeah. Then we know that we have a thing which is working, which is coming in the YouTube only. Okay. I think this is the one of the most interesting question, which I want to clarify very, very clearly multiple times. Yeah. So the PMP exam started since 2021 is not having any formula-based questions. Before 2021, we used to get around 15 to 20 formula-based questions. If some of your friends are telling that you need to prepare the formulas, you need to ask them when you did PMP, even if they are PMP certified. They might be right, but for their time, not for the recent time. You can follow people who are sharing their success stories. No one reporting since 2021 using calculator in the PMP exam. You do get one or two questions where you need to interpret some of the matrices. So you may see that your cost performance index is less than 1. So you should, especially for earned value management, you need to be aware what is the meaning of less than 1 and what is the meaning of more than 1. If you can understand and interpret that meaning, and you can choose what you should do when you have that kind of matrix, you are good. You don't have to calculate earned value. You don't have to calculate estimate to complete. You don't have to calculate TCP, IP. Even you might see my videos on YouTube, but you don't have to calculate that. You don't have to calculate critical path. You don't have to worry about start to finish relationship, start to start relationship, and calculating the early start, early date based on that, and doing forward pass, backward pass, and calculating slack out of it. I do have all those videos explaining how to do it. Maybe it is valuable to learn, but not coming in the PMP exam. Why? Because now for predictive life cycle process domain, the PMI just have a 25% exam bucket. And in that 25%, they want to prioritize and focus on those things which are usually done by the project managers, Nowadays, we have a tool which can do all these kind of calculation like MS Project, Primavera and all. So PMI understand that no need to check the peoples on those kind of things. So they are more focusing on situational based question and trying to check your project management mindset and experience rather than your mathematical and calculation or accounting skills. Yeah, so that's the important point. So can you help me out through application process? How should we contact you? So this all is part of our PMP exam preparation process. Because if you think about application in advance, that might be too much worry because you need to understand what is project management first. So when you enroll to us, you follow, understand the whole project management, you finish around 1 month of your class, and then we help you to fill your PMP application. Yeah, that much is there, and it will be a part of our overall package. There is no separate charges for it. If you're worried, am I really eligible for it? Will I be able to make for it? That way, you can drop us an email at the sales@inzbridge.com. We can help you in saying that can you handle it or not? Yeah, that much answer we can give you anytime you put a email to sales@isenbridge.com. But assisting will take time because you need to finish project management learning before we start focusing on your application. Okay. In between, it goes for here and there. If you are done, if you are mostly done with your questions, great. Yeah, I just wait for a few more minutes. If you don't get new questions, then we don't have to do it. Yeah. Now, another interesting question that I have already created 35 contact hours. Now I want to fill the application and all. So please try to understand that 35 contact hours can be earned in multiple ways. And the quality of 35 contact hours is not same. All 35 contact hours does not prepare you for PMP exam. What you need to do is you need to understand project management. 35 contact hours is just a one small step. So there are many programs, Udemy programs, free programs. There are so many which can qualify you the 35 contact hours. But if you go for a provider like us who is following the PMI exam content outline, we educate you more on Agile first, we educate you in predictive life cycle. That's a assistance you need to make sure that you don't waste your time and focus on getting PMP certification. Yeah. So earning 35 contact hour is something I don't even talk that we will give you 35 contact hours. If you have seen my some of my webinars which I do for closed group conversation where people can discuss their PMP exam thing. So 35 contact hours can be get from anywhere. Yeah. So it is not useful. What you need to focus on is exam content outline, 35 tasks rather than 35 contact hours. Definitely, if you go to a right provider, they will give you a 35 contact hours alone. That's an obvious thing. We will give you a PMI approved one, but that's a secondary thing you need to follow. We do have a blog in case publicly you want to understand. If you search PMP application filling Eisenbridge, we do have a blog which can help anyone to fill the application. Yeah. But usually the quality of project management education varies. Yeah. Okay, so finally we got a question from the LinkedIn. Yeah. Okay, great. So the question is, what is the latest version of PMP handbook for the current session? Yeah. So you go to pmi.org, directly go to PMP certification, scroll down, you can download PMP exam content outline and PMP handbook. The PMP exam content outline, the latest updated, which you can download from PMI website by visiting pmi.org certification, is January 2021. That's the latest version of your PMP exam content outline. I hope that is what you are talking. And if yes, that's the answer. So finally, we got a question from LinkedIn as well. So I'm sure that both the platforms have been working. So if anyone has a query on LinkedIn or on YouTube, please feel free to drop a message in your wherever you are seeing it. It will reach us and we will answer your queries here. Okay. In the next session, I want to talk more about the roles, as we had a small conversation about the stakeholder should not be participating in the iteration planning meeting, sprint planning meeting and all. Yeah, so roles, yeah. That's a bigger question about project manager slash Scrum Master. So we want to type of focus on that. Type of charts in the PMP exam, not clear what you want to ask. If you are saying ITTO charts, none of them are needed. So if you are talking about burn down as a chart, then you do have a matrices. Control chart is there, yeah, in a way, but nothing much as a type of charts. Yeah. So if you can elaborate your question, probably I can try. Yeah, so like histogram, control chart. So what we learned is, yeah, in case of our PMBOK 6, you learn about 7 quality control tools, and there are 7 quality management tools also. Yeah. So overall 14 tools PMBOK 6 educate us. But the current PMI's exam material, which PMI gives to us, they only focus on 4. Yeah. So it's good to know all 14, but you probably want to focus on 4 more. What are those 4? Control chart, yeah, histogram slash Pareto chart, that's there, yeah, scatter diagram, and root cause, yeah, 5-5 diagram. So if you understand these 4, most likely for a current PMP exam, you are done. Yeah, that's the thing. And basic what is understanding needed for PMP exam? When to use control chart, when to use scatter diagram, when to use Pareto chart. That kind of questions will come in the PMP exam. You can expect 2 questions like that, yeah, where the situation is given, and based on the situation, project manager is asked which of the following tool can help you in doing a better impact analysis, better root cause analysis, better priority analysis, better trend analysis. Yeah, so that is something will be done, and you need to find the right option. If you want to practice those kind of questions, we already have 140 plus free questions on our YouTube. You go to our podcast page in the YouTube / Eisenbridge. You go there, podcast. You can see all those questions. If you follow them, if you just follow our all 140 questions with right justifications, most likely you will pass the exam. Yeah, so that's another tool. Can one sit for PMI-ACP or Agile Project Management exam without the basic PMP? So Agile Project Management, I am not aware. I think some other provider is providing it. But for PMI-ACP, yeah, it is definitely made for those people who are not yet eligible for PMP exam. Yeah. So PMI-ACP is made at a practitioner level, not at a professional level. They have even an engineer, developer, tester who work in the Agile environment can do PMI-ACP. Yeah, that's there. So there is no prerequisite for PMI-ACP. You need to show around, I think, 15 months or some kind of experience of working in projects and using some part of Agile. That much you need to experience, you need to show, and you can go for PMI-ACP. I usually don't recommend people doing PMI-ACP because I am concerned that PMI has not updated the content since 2014, which is pretty old, 10-year-old content. The Agile has moved on, the scaled Agile came, when the PMI-ACP came, 2012, there was nothing much about scaling. 2014, they did a minor modifications. But again, if you have a business reasons to do it, you can definitely do it. We have a pre-running, pre-recorded online program which can help you. But that's the story about PMI-ACP. I'm hoping they will update the content soon, and then I will start promoting the PMI-ACP. Yeah, that's my hope. Okay, so looks like the questions for today is settling down. If all good, I want to proceed for closing. If you have any specific query, please drop final 30, 60 seconds of a countdown. And if we get something, we'll talk. I'll see you next week. This time I have published the next week session already. Yeah, so next Friday, same time I'm doing. And I have published the topic also. Next time I want to talk about agile / project management roles. Again, important thing for navigating to your PMP exam, as well as having some hybrid agile understanding. So do participate. Same process, same timing, and you can follow us on YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever you are. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you also get a notification periodically. So it's a good idea to do that, because we keep posting some project manager interview questions, regular PMP questions. We already have 140 plus. Now we have slowed down our speed. Earlier we were posting 5 questions every week, but I think now we have a critical mass. We also want to make sure that you don't get too many things to look at. So if you just follow the remaining questions of last 140 and then gradually keep getting some updates based on what I get a new feedback from the community, I create a question if I see some part is not well understood. So it's good to follow, and those new questions will keep coming. Yeah. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for participating today. Yeah. See you next time. Bye for now. Thank you.